So when it comes to the Pokemon fan base, there's two parts of it I genuinely despise. Really, really despise. Like don't even really consider them people for the most part. And that's the people that complain about literally anything and everything and are never happy with anything, and the incredibly weird people who are interested in sexualizing 10-year-olds. Yes, that is a big thing on Twitter. I can't tell you how many times someone uses that their childhood crush or whatever bullshit excuse is the reason why it's allowed for them to do that. But I digress on that. That's another video topic we'll cover another day. Today we're here to talk about Pokemon TCG Pocket and how it has some of the dumbest and worst fans I think I've ever seen in this entire fandom. So I'm going to kick this off by saying I'm not like shilling for this game or anything. I'm not going to tell you how unbelievably amazing it is or whatever, but I just want to talk about some of the dumbest points I've ever seen people say to kind of prove or at least convince themselves that it's the worst thing Nintendo has ever done or the Pokemon company has ever done. And I just think it's just really interesting to me that people still to this day complain about this thing, and their complaints are just so stupid. They never get any more realistic or fair. While I'm also going to say this as well, there are a few things I agree with them on, but for the most part, 90% of their complaints are just artificial garbage that they need to buff themselves up to feel important when talking online. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. When Pokemon TCG Pocket dropped, it dropped in a part of like kind of like a weird time where Marvel Snap, if anyone still plays or remembers that, was pretty much dominating the mobile TCG market. And it's crazy to me because, I mean, I had a lot of fun playing Marvel Snap back then. The whole point of it is that the matches are quick. They're quick. That is the whole point of Marvel Snap. It's fun, it's quick, and the matches are usually over in under 5 minutes. Pokemon saw this and said, hey, why don't we make a format for our TCG that's like that? Smaller decks, shorter matches, and easier win cons. Very fair stuff. That was where the complaining began immediately. You got all these degenerates who are mad that matches aren't 40 minutes long and aren't able to be stalled out for as long as they humanly could. Something a lot of people don't understand is this game was never meant to be a replacement for the actual sit-down tabletop TCG. Even its other mobile counterpart, Pokemon TCG Live, or online as it used to be called back in the day. Again, I bet most of the people complaining about this don't even know about Pokemon TCG Online, which makes it even funnier. So this quicker Marvel Snap format type game comes out, and the point of it essentially does a nice big curve over the very smooth marble brains that these people have, and they don't understand why it's formatted the way it is. They complain that it's short, it's stupid, and that it costs money to buy packs. I just don't get it. Every mobile game has some type of microtransactions, and while I disagree with them, it's bound to happen. They thought that this was going to, for some reason, be a completely free experience. Like, are you dumb? Then again, so going back to matches. The matches are quick. They take under 5 minutes, just like, oh yeah, the game we just discussed, Marvel Snap. This was meant to be a direct competitor, although it was never directly said by Pokemon themselves. It's very obvious that they wanted in on this format, and they made a very successful competitor to this game, to the point where I very rarely see people talk about Marvel Snap anymore, but I constantly still see people talk about this game. So I guess they succeeded in that aspect. Moving on to microtransactions, as I've said before, I don't agree with them. I think the microtransactions in this game are actually really hefty for what you're getting. I don't even know if I can call them microtransactions if we're going to be real. $25 for a playmat, card sleeve, and a coin is ridiculous, and this is the one thing I will give them. So one thing I'll give them, because I think these items should be broken out of bundles and sold for 99 cents to maybe $1.99 tops, individually each. I think it would, while it's not going to get them a ton of money fast like these bundles will, I think more people would be willing to purchase these items if they were priced more accordingly. And that's my big complaint about this game. Actually, that's like the really really big thing I'm going to complain about. So moving forward, then we have the pack formats. Okay, the first one comes out. The Apex packs come out. Charizard, Pikachu, Mewtwo. We have Genetic Apex. People complained immediately that you have to use 3 separate packs arts to get specific cards in a set. And by the way, we're going to revisit this because you're going to see some hypocrisy here as well. People complained about this, said it was ridiculous, wasn't fair. You had to spend money on certain ones to get whatever you wanted. Okay, whatever. It's a little ridiculous to be broken down to 3 separate subsets, but I kind of understand it, and it gives you the opportunity to chase the certain cards you want within that subset without having to worry about being bombarded with the same cards you get in the other subsets. Fair. Not the greatest, but fair. Then we got the next one that comes out, the Mythic Island one. Well, now it's just a ripoff because they're releasing a really small set that you have to spend a ton of money to get the chases in as well. Nothing makes these people happy. So they make what I would consider a minor improvement here by saying, you know what, for the subset, we're not going to split it into multiple packs. We're going to split it. We're going to keep it in 1 pack, small set, and your chances of getting your cards are higher. This wasn't good enough for them. They still kept complaining. These tiny brains kept complaining. Move forward. Go back to multiple subsets, which I don't think, again, I never thought this was a big deal to begin with. The complaint cycle just keeps going. People start complaining about gameplay now. It's too simplistic. Way too simplistic. It's very clear from the very beginning their intention was to slowly dip your feet into the different types of cards that are available in the full TCG and bring them over to Pocket. They start slowly adding different types of trainers, items. They're now going to be adding stadiums. They added Mega Evolutions recently as well. None of it's good enough. It's never good enough for these people because their micro brains don't know how to do anything except complain. So we go through a couple of sets, about like years of sets. People complain, oh, there's only 2 packs this time. The set is too small. The set is too big. It's just the typical generic borderline chat GPT generated complaints that they still have. And then another thing people start complaining about is how to get promos and that you can't just basically get them handed to you for free. You actually have to work towards them by winning battles and using the Wonder Pick feature, which people complain about as well, because the Wonder Pick doesn't immediately let them get the highest value card in the game, in the set that they're trying to go for. You never can win with these people. Again, not shilling for this game, but some of the complaints are just so ridiculous that, like, I can't imagine anyone over the age of 10 making them. All right. So gameplay is improving constantly. They announce, I believe it was around summertime last year, they're completely changing the game. They're adding more cards to your deck. That hasn't come out yet, by the way. And they're going to be adding a bunch of different subtypes of cards. Still not good enough. Now they're ruining the game. I thought the game was ruined to begin with. You guys said it was a terrible game to begin with. You're not even playing it. You're just complaining about it. They add a share feature. Not good enough. You can only get 1 card per day through the share feature. People complain. I don't think this is a big deal because this prevents you from completing the set day 1 by having all your mutuals send you every card in the set. It takes the fun out of the collecting and it completely nullifies the point of opening packs. Like, you have to be dumb not to see this. Oh my god, it's just like, it's so dumb. Like, these are like such juvenile complaints. And then, I just lost my train of thought. Wow. We got trading. That's where I was going with this next. This is also another one I'm going to give them. Trading was absolutely horrible when it first came out. You can only trade up to, I believe, standard EXs, and you had to use tokens and all this other garbage. They fix it. It's still not good enough. They don't let you trade the highest rarity cards. Fair point, actually. I agreed with this one. I think that was a stupid decision, but I understand why they did it because obviously they're trying to make money. Don't agree with it, but understand it. You know what they even do? They say, you know what? we're still going to fix it. We're going to let you trade everything up to the absolute highest tier of card. That's still not good enough for these people. They're still complaining. It's dumb. They changed the entire trade system to not rely on these tokens anymore and to rely on shine dust and various other little resources. Still not good enough for them. It's still broken. It's still garbage. I can't abuse it to get the entire set 2 hours after it comes out. It's bullshit. These people are dumb. And now we fast forward to today. Mega Evolutions have been introduced with the previous 2 sets. And I didn't really hear too much complaint of Mega Evolution outside of apparently they made the game very unfun. Didn't realize that. Because they adopted the rule from the real TCG, something that they've been begging them to do, that if a Mega Evolution Pokemon is knocked out, you basically lose the game because they're stupidly powerful. They do tons of damage, and a lot of them can one-shot most other cards in the game for the most part. I don't think it's an unfair thing to get 3 points for knocking one of these heavy HP, heavy hitters out. Again, people expected this to be a carbon copy of the real sit-down TCG, where matches take sometimes a half hour, 40 minutes, and you can essentially cheese your way into a victory a lot of the time. Which a lot of the time in Pocket, you actually need to have some minor knowledge of how to pilot a deck. Not saying you don't have to in a full TCG, because let me tell you, you definitely do with certain decks. But you can tell who knows how to pilot those decks in the real TCG, and who doesn't, and how they see Pocket. It's just hilarious to me. And now we come to the latest controversy. The newest set just came out, the Parade set with Mega Gardevoir. They did exactly what you guys wanted. Put all the cards in one pack. That's not good enough now, because now it's harder to get the cards I want, because they're all in one pack and they're not broken down into subsets. Do you notice how this has come full circle? These people are so dumb that they're now complaining about the reverse thing. The thing they wanted changed initially, they're now complaining and want it back. I am so glad the Pokemon Company knows how to ignore some of the more bullshit feedback they receive from the dumbest parts of this player base. And I'm really glad that they just improved the parts that needed to be improved, minus the microtransactions. I'm gonna be real, we really got to set those prices a little lower because they're kind of crazy. But all in all, I don't take any Pocket players' opinions seriously because they can never decide what they want. I follow a bunch of accounts on Twitter for Pokemon TCG Pocket, and let me tell you, they are some of the biggest bird brains I've ever seen in my entire life. They're never happy about anything. You could literally, they could add a card in game that if you pulled it in Pokemon TCG Pocket, they would send you a bar of gold in real life, and people would still complain. They'd be like, well, I didn't pull that, so it's bullshit. It's dumb. It's bullshit. It shouldn't be in it. Everyone should get a bar of gold every time they open a pack. It is just insane to me. This fan base has absolutely no consistency, basically. They never know what they're actually complaining about, and they just complain because they want to complain and engagement farm with the complaints. That's really about it. I definitely think Pokemon TCG Pocket could improve in plenty of ways, but the ways that people are complaining about are so dumb and such non-issues for the most part that it makes it really hard for me to believe that Pokemon will ever take any of these complaints seriously. So, if you're one of these people doing this, just know that you are dumb. There is no, you might be dumb, you are dumb. And you're dumb. And you're annoying and stupid. And that's about it. I'm Terrible Shoes. Hit the like and subscribe button. And don't be like one of these people who never is happy with anything. I'm not saying to just consume and enjoy, because obviously that's also really bad too. There should be criticisms of the thing some people are paying money for. But to complain about literally everything is just ridiculous. And these people are ridiculous. And you shouldn't listen to them. That's all I really got for today's video. See you guys in the next one.